The New York Mets still appear to be in the hunt for a designated hitter. Do they need one? And who is their biggest competition? And welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WatchUK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. Quick reminder, as always, we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Come on down and join the fun. Today, we're going to talk a little New York Mets baseball, specifically the lineup. I've spent a good amount of time on the pitching and on the bullpen as of late, but I want to take a look at the lineup for a moment because it really feels like this lineup is definitely one bat away from being a legitimate major league lineup. It needs some lengthening. Now, right now, it seems like the Mets, have never really taken designated hitter very seriously ever since the National League implemented it a couple of years back. Right now, it would be Mark Vientos, maybe a little bit of DJ Stewart, maybe Starling Marte filling in at DH to kind of save his legs a little bit. But there are a couple of DHs still out there on the market, namely Jorge Soler and JD Martinez. Now, the New York Post reported that there is dialogue right now between the Mets and JD Martinez, not very close on a deal as of yet. Now, Martinez would be an interesting acquisition. He's 36 years old. He just came off a one-year, $10 million contract with the Dodgers and was pretty good. 271 batting average, 33 home runs, 66 extra base hits, and an 893 on-base plus slugging. Very, very good, but he did strike out 31% of the time. That is not so good. He has been an all-star in each of the last 5 seasons, so he's been very consistent. And as far as Jorge Soler goes, he opted out of his deal with the Marlins. He was scheduled to make $13 million in the last year of his contract coming up. So you have to figure 1 year, $13 million is going to be the absolute starting point, and he's going to be looking for a whole lot more than that. Now, the Mets already have the highest payroll in baseball, about $330 million. They're in that fourth luxury tax bracket. But I wanted to look at who else is really in the DH market here, because the Mets, I think they're willing to bring a bat in, but only at their price. They're not going to overspend. So I looked for a moment at different teams, like who had a needed DH, who had the money to spend, and there were really 4 other teams besides the Mets that I thought make sense. The Boston Red Sox, the Chicago Cubs, the San Francisco Giants, and the LA Angels of Anaheim. Now, Boston has already had JD Martinez. I'm not even sure what they're really doing this year. I don't know if they're building, if they're trying to get talent. I mean, the only thing they really did this offseason was sign Lucas Giolito in the starting rotation. So I don't know what Boston's really trying to do here. The Cubs need a bat, but, Cody Bellinger is still available, the top outfielder on the market, and he was just with the Cubs. I think it makes too much sense to have a reunion. Now, the Angels have Brandon Drury slotted in as their designated hitter, but they have absolutely next to no chance to contend. Shohei Ohtani is gone, and even with him, they could barely even sniff the playoffs. So I don't see that happening. That leaves the San Francisco Giants, and I think this is the team that is going to be the biggest competition. Right now, at DH, the Giants would have Wilmer Flores, the ex-Met, maybe JD Davis, Lamonte Wade. They have been linked to Jorge Soler as of late, though. So it's going to be interesting. What are these two guys looking for in Martinez and Soler? Are they looking for multiple-year contracts? Are they willing to wait? Are they willing to hold out until they get that multiple-year deal? Because I don't know if the Mets are going to guarantee 2-year contracts to either one of these players. I think that's the breaking point. I think what I would do if I'm David Stearns is offer either one of these two guys 1 year, $15 million with a vesting option that would, execute based off certain performances, whether it would be games played, whether it would be certain performances on the field, team success, total at bats. But the Mets really need the protection in their lineup. I mean, I would love for it to be Francisco Alvarez, but he was very streaky last season. I need better than a 209 batting average hitting behind Pete Alonso. So just think hypothetically of what the lineup could look like if they brought in JD Martinez. Leading off, Brandon Nimmo. Batting second, Starling Marte. I think some people want to move Marte down, but the Mets were at their best in 2022 when he batted second. Francisco Lindor third, Pete Alonso fourth, then you throw in JD Martinez or Jorge Soler in the fifth spot. Then I would put Jeff McNeil. I want to break up the righties a little bit, so I'd put McNeil there. Then Francisco Alvarez 7, Brett Beatty 8, and Harrison Bader, who brings a lot of speed, batting ninth, and sort of like that, that additional leadoff hitter. So you can imagine Bader, Nimmo, and Marte, 1, 2, 3. That's a whole lot of speed, and Lindor's going to give you some speed as well. So I think it would make the Mets a lot more legitimate, a really legitimate contender for a playoff spot. Martinez would be my preference over Soler, but I certainly hope the Mets will bring one of those two bats in. All right, well, those are my thoughts on the Mets and the designated hitter situation that's currently going on. Do you want to see the Mets sign one of these two bats? And if so, who is it? Put it right down there in the comments. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And remember, I'll be doing some Mets prospect profiles coming up. I'm doing my top 20 countdown. Right now, the plan is to do numbers 20 through 11 in one video, then 10 through 6, and then finally 5 through 1. So I plan on dropping this over 3 different episodes, and I will be dropping the first one this coming weekend. So be on the lookout for that. All right, enough plugs. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.